welcome to our second London meetup, our most intimate to date, but there's high quality participation in the room, so it's really great to have you. Thanks a million for coming. We were really eager to try to kind of instigate a pulse, a pattern of these, because we're lucky to be working on some really cool projects that aspire to national adoption or mutual benefit of lots of organizations, and there are other suppliers that we're very aligned with, that we want to make sure that we're aligned with, and there's loads of eager beavers in central and local government organizations that could help make some of these exciting exemplars a reality. So this is a space where we can showcase stuff that's up and coming and get some feedback. Today, the plan is we actually had this is a second iteration, so we're gonna shake it up a bit. We've already had some learnings for summer events post tube strikes. So we only have 3 talks tonight, having had 6 initially. So we're gonna still keep the 5-minute lightning talk thing. We want to maximize the opportunity for people to meet each other and have chats. But we thought we'd have to see what it's like to have a plenary discussion with a group this size and this diverse. Probably focusing on the last topic, ChatGPT, large language models. That was the most common topic that people pitched, to talk about or that they wanted to hear about. So that's what they were the groups that we invited to come speak. As Tony's already mentioned, we're recording so that we can try and broadcast as widely as possible. If you're into social media, there are some hashtags. The LDGov UK is the local digital program at DLUC, who is represented so far by Tom Lowndes at the back. Go harass him if you have ideas for them. They usually present at these sessions as well, and we'll do at the next one. So make your requests via that LinkedIn feed. And then afterwards, what we did try to do last time, and we'll repeat this time, is send you to a corner of the room to further chat with the speakers that you're the most keen to share notes with. And just a seed to sow for that time is that because we have a little bit more space and time, less speakers, we thought some people here might want to pitch a topic that they want to chat about at the end. So we can make a couple of stations for the pitches, unconference style, that are the most popular via show of hands. I'm assuming to pick the top 2, but if there's like a tiebreaker, maybe we could have 3. That won't dilute the group too much. Okay, that's it by way of intro. At this point, can I hand you over to Sven Latham from the GLA, who has been working on the latest iteration of the London Data Store and is going to tell us about, why they're replatforming, what's in it for London, but also what's in it to kind of learn for the rest of the sector. So I'm going to pass you over to Sven.
I'm used to sitting behind a computer screen all day. I'm not used to being social, so you have to forgive me. I've got some notes and the pressure of a lightning talk. Ooh. So, hello, I'm Sven Latham. I'm the product manager for the London Data Store at the Greater London Authority. London Data Store has about 2,000 data sets across London. It's provided by both the GLA and other organisations. So we've got contributions from NHS, we've got London councils and others contributing to a big pool of data. London Data Store started in 2010. So it is a troublesome teenager at the moment, 13 years old. It started off as an open public data set, but over time it's added private elements as well, so we can share private data between named individuals. It's a collaborative space increasingly. I started about 1.5 years ago at the GLA, so I'm definitely not taking all credit for the London Data Store. They're a team, a fairly small team, but working hard to try and keep the data store up to date. And what I wanted to give was a bit of a personal perspective of what I'm trying to do with the development of the data store and how I see the development in the future. Because last year we got funding to rebuild the London Data Store. Great. After 13 years, it's bursting at the seams a little bit. There are some snags and issues and things we really want to fix. And the other thing is it's software as a service at the moment. To be able to do the kinds of interesting projects that we want to be able to do, we really wanted to bring it in-house to be able to develop it. The London Data Store has hosted and continues to host a wide variety of projects. And what we've seen over time is that more and more projects are using the data store to be able to deliver services for Londoners. So we've got High Streets Data Service, we've got inter-council working, we've got social care, we've got housing and planning and other services that are using the data store as a fundamental part of their work. So we really wanted to make sure in this rebuild that we got everything in that we needed to do to be able to provide a service to these project teams. It's exciting stuff, right? Here's my take. We need to be boring, dull, bland, beige. Or is, if I stand next to it, this is a great social media image for later. I want the platform, in my mind, to be the thing that nobody worries about. The tarmac on the road, the plumbing that brings us the water. Oh, thanks, Peter.
Smile.
Great, I want that later for the profile. Don't get me wrong about this. Yeah, we want to be ambitious. But I wear that dullness, that boringness with a bit of pride, because I don't want anyone to have to think about the data store to do their day-to-day work. It should just work. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize and what we're trying to emphasize within the data store. It should just be in the background, never worry about it, but it delivers the services that we need. Saying all of that, of course, we've got an ambitious list. Word clouds are still in, right, aren't they? So I put the feature list into a word cloud, and this is what I've got. It's always a relief to see data as the big one, by the way. That's good to see. I'm hoping those of you that are working on data platform projects recognize a few of these. These are the things that we're trying to build in to provide a platform for the project owners, the people who are really making a difference for Londoners, the people who want to get good outcomes for the citizens of London. Don't know how am I doing for time. Right, this is what we're up to. So for those of you that are in London or working around London, just a bit of information I wanted to share with you where we're going. First things first, London Data Store is becoming data for London. And this is representative. It's becoming a much bigger programme of work encompassing the whole of Greater London and the boroughs and people like Lottie and other organisations in London to try and encourage them to work together collaboratively and not in silos. So as a platform, what we're trying to do is make sure that people can work effectively. Summer 2023, okay, not quite summer, it's a bit rainy today. We want to get the search and catalogue MVP, minimum viable product, out to testers to see what they think of it. We've been working hard in the background to show and represent data, not just from the GLA, but from all the other organisations we can get to. So what can we get from other London boroughs data stores? What can we get from the NHS, from other publishers, from ONS, for instance, and bring it into one place? So that for the 9 million people who are searching for data, and particularly those that have got a real interest in using data day and day, they can find what they need to find. Early 2024, we pull the trigger, and we make it go live. So London Data Store, our aim is to become data for London. Not a huge amount will change on the front end, but it's the start of making some significant pipe fixes. So we make the back end better, we increase the capacity, we make sure that we can start to do things that we want to do and start to represent the user's needs more effectively. And then later in 2024, look how dreary and drab this is. Beta label comes off, done. Where go? That's what we're doing on the platform. I think the really interesting stuff is kind of there, and it's there, and it's in the distance, and it's coming around this, because what we want to try and be able to do through giving this functionality is enable things like discussions about AI, exploration about AI. It's a big thing that's just come up in the last 18 months. If we're flexible and we have it in-house and we're able to adapt, then we should be supporting those projects and seeing what can be done. Interactive maps, wonderful mapping tools that can use the service to provide really reliable and interesting functionality, a meaningful representation of data, and all the reports and analysis and expertise that come with it. So I truly believe that by providing a boring but necessary platform, fixing that plumbing and making sure that we get the basics and the foundation right, the interesting stuff comes after, because what you build on top is the real project outcome. and that's how I'm driving the project. So to get there, to get the exciting stuff, I have to be a bit boring. If you want a boring chat, come and have a chat with me.
Thank you. You can nip back to Zone over there. Or locked you in. Thank you very, very much. And we will have probably close to the TV at Station 1, Sven, available for boring chats after the speakers. And number 2, so, well, not a million miles away because it will make use of well-reduced data, but Zung a while ago finished a project along with the Connected Places Catapult and Open Innovation on a national retrofit service for councils. And as soon as her mic is up and running, I'm going to remember to take my phone so I can be a time dictator with Zung. You're going to have to go around this way.
Oh, okay. Apparently a top tip, if you're ever giving a talk, don't wear a dress with no pockets. Just sharing that for everyone. Hi everyone, so I'm Zung. I'm a partner here at TPX Impact, and my background is design, research, but also I consider myself like a built environment climate person, and I guess why we do a lot of projects. We do a lot of projects for small and big organizations, and why I want to talk about this one is I think it's something that I really want to happen, and I felt like in the powers that I had in this project, I couldn't make it happen at a bigger scale, and I guess I want to share it so that people or peoples can push ideas like this wider in the world. So this is a piece of work we did with Connected Places Catapult and Open Innovation Leads, and it's about a council retrofit service. I don't know if you know, for anyone that isn't familiar with the term retrofit, it basically means taking our existing homes and kind of kitting it out with new technology or, windows insulation to make it much more heat resistant, renewable energy. And why is this important? It's important because 20% of UK carbon emissions come from home energy use, because 80% of the homes we will occupy in 2050 already exist, because we're trying to limit building, because building is bad for the climate, and 18% of homes are owned by councils. So councils have some levers, or local authorities have some levers in our homes, but really the bulk of the work is getting more homeowners to be able to afford and install retrofitting. So we know this, and a lot of the technology already exists, and why isn't retrofitting happening at a wider scale? I own a home. I haven't invested in any renewable energy solutions. Why? Because many of the solutions are not tried and tested, and homeowners feel really nervous. No one wants to be the first person to pay for something risky. It's high cost. That's really the main reason for me, right? Compounding impact of immature supply chain, uncertainty of demand. And I think those two things, a lot of the suppliers we talk to, it's a cyclical effect. So like there isn't a supply chain, so it's very rare. Because it's very rare, it's very expensive. Because it's very expensive, no one's using it, and therefore there's no supply chain. And we're stuck in this loop, and we're not getting out. And a lot of people we spoke to for the project kind of mentioned that a lot of the national policy, green home grants, a lot of that attempt at funneling kind of funds, it just isn't materializing. It's not it's not going into your homes being upgraded. And so we started this project, I guess, with a I think a lot of the investment in net zero in the last decade was on hard infrastructure. So let's get the technology for heat pumps ready. Let's get technology for the solar panels ready. And now the question is really about adoption. So we started this project with really a question of what can councils do now? How might we develop tools and ways of working to enable local authorities to support communities to basically get out of that cyclical loop that I talked about? So how do we kind of like break the chasm? That's a term in innovation, identify early adopters, target locations for retrofit, market and provide end-to-end service, and then train suppliers to meet demand. We wanted to imagine or envision a council service that helps. We specifically thought that, yes, councils manage 18% of social housing, but actually, is it really fair to expect the low income to be the first to have to trial new technology? And actually, there's a wider market in helping they call it the able to pay. It's basically everyone else, the homeowners, to take action by making retrofit planning easier, reducing barriers to uptake, and enabling people to connect with information, other residents and suppliers. So we kind of had this we tested this with councils, local residents, and some suppliers on an end-to-end service that basically helps residents review data on your property. So basically, my property, I probably should maybe beat that from YouTube. I don't want people to know where I live. Get a carbon rating for my home, view retrofit options, and then connect with basically this idea of like, if it's really expensive to get solar panels for my house, can I actually use a service to like, and some of that's happening really organically in Walthamstow where I live, where entire streets have pooled together to kind of create like a solar street. And like, imagine a service that helps you, gather your community together and be like, hey, let's all like procure solar at a cheaper cost. And then for the council, that gives the council data on demand and gives suppliers that kind of pipeline that you can stack up and the confidence to start to invest in these new skills. There are lots of values. I think I'll skip through. These are some of the wireframes. You can find the service, assess my home carbon. And I think the exciting thing is kind of going back to local digital and DLOC, being able to unlock a lot of the property, connecting to the previous chat, unlocking some of the property data that exists in place, like EPC data or kind of other property data, monthly energy use data that energy suppliers might have, and add to that another layer of data on retrofit and kind of post-retrofit energy use so that we can see the impact of investments. And that was it. That was me.
Give that to you. Oh, I've given you a shock, sorry. I'm a really static person. Okay. And the third and lucky last lightning speaker for today is Matt Fox from Surrey County Council, who has done a very exciting project on the topic that was of most interest to the vast majority, well, to the people who suggested a topic through registration, large language models and ChatGPT related things. So without further ado, I'll let you come around this way to be able to control your own slides.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Matt Fox. I'm with Surrey County Council. I actually work in the Communities Directorate, so nothing to do with tech or AI, but I have a bit of a background in it. And I was a bit obsessed when ChatGPT came out, like I guess a lot of people. So I quickly looked for ways that we could kind of explore this in the council. So we're really blessed in Surrey. We've got the People-Centered AI University at the University of Surrey. I think they started about 2-3 years ago. They reformed from a previous department to really focus in on how AI can be used in communities and society. So we partnered with them to build upon our co-working ambitions, building local resilience, reducing barriers to partnerships, and exploring approaches to knowledge management. I stole this slide format from Zung. Sorry, Zung. Cool. So just some context around how we're working towards artificial intelligence and this kind of area and partnerships. We have an existing relationship with the University of Surrey through the Surrey Cybersecurity Cluster. So a little bit of a plug, check it out. Actively developing the Surrey County Council AI strategy. So this is an ongoing piece of work with a working group that I'm involved with. And then we are the first participants in the new iTech program at the University of Surrey. So this is a way to work with some of the master's students they have on their AI program. And we're just really building upon our ambition for increased partnerships and exploring generative AI capabilities for knowledge management. So I was also involved in a sprint piece of work where we're looking at how we manage our knowledge as a council, because we just have so much going on. We've got policy documents, we've got some knowledge which is a bit more private and personal to our residents, and we've not explored that in this project, just to be clear. It's only publicly available data. So a timeline of the project, obviously ChatGPT launched 30th of November last year. Surrey County Council and University of Surrey partnership kicked off on the 5th of January this year. That was through me approaching one of the lecturers over LinkedIn. And then University of Surrey iTech program kickoff, Surrey County Council and University of Surrey iTech program finished just recently in June. So that took about 4 months of work to put together. And it really transformed about midway through the project, because Microsoft released their Azure AI Studio in May, I think I'm right in saying. So all of this is moving so quickly as an industry, as you understand. So We then pitched this project into the Surrey County Council Chief Information Officer this month. So he loved it and was really excited about it, and we're presenting it to our digital network in October. So just under a year from the launch of ChatGPT to undertaking this project, looking at how we can apply generative pre-trained models and large language models to our knowledge base, and then disseminating this learning through to the entire county council. So even though for me it's been a sort of early adoption project, it's still taken almost a year to just kind of get it through the pipeline, and local government does move quite slowly. So just for a little insight, this is part of the architecture of the solution for anyone who's kind of techie in the audience. So we feed our documents into what we've termed a document indexer. This is utilizing Facebook's FAISS index. And this process that you're seeing here, we feed this through the BART model into OpenAI embeddings and also through the GPT model. And we're doing this to limit the possibility of hallucinations in the model. So this is about checking through the BART model, producing questions there, and then testing that in the FAISS index to make sure this is an answer from the model that we actually want to receive. So not just allowing ChatGPT to come up with something out of the blue. And then this is effectively how the model works. Documents are fed into the index. A user inputs a query into the OpenAI platform, and then this is tested against the index to see if it's a solution or an answer, an output that we want. And then it's pushed through to the GPT model to stream out the response and generate the answer.